January 2021, February, we really honed in on it. And that's where like bringing in my cousin more often, like having him in the content. So we started filming on the weekends when he'd be off work, every Saturday, Sunday, film 2 days when I was there. So it's like, okay, I got him for 4 days total. So we made a bunch of content that would work on my page. And then we launched his page. And then we brought in my grandma like on a whim one day, like just total. She lives there on the farm. Mm-hmm. So that turned into a whole nother thing that now has been a huge blessing for us. And it's so great I get to do it. But like, the day that happened, it changed the game for us.
Take me to that first day then, where, you know, grandma just comes out and says, what are you guys doing? And says, actually, come on in. Like, how does that all happen? How does she get in the first video? And then, you know, fast forward then after you get through that to how does she feel about everything now?
Just thinking about it, like how it all happened is truly like kind of like how our content still happens to this day. Like it's very funny, but like up until that point, we started getting popular with these called Farm Stuff with Daryl episodes, which was like I was trying to be educational, funny, and entertaining all at the same time, and like quick 30-second videos about farming, ranching stuff around the farm. And I think we had just done one about the trailer hitch, where like the trailer hitch is known to be the bee like of the farm, like it's shin killer. Like you walk by and you hit that thing every time. And so we just made that video, and someone had said something about like I can't remember what it was. They said something about a grandma. Like, yeah, but imagine like my that took out my granny one day. And then somebody also said, so I made a reference into the very next Farm Stuff video. We did the one finger wave. I don't know if you in Oklahoma, you're familiar with like when people pass you, they do that. So that's huge in the farming community. So we did a video about what all the different signs mean. And then a car passes us in the video. I go, I wonder if that was Granny. And like to gate Bart. and then people would go like, who's Granny? So then in a video, I just remember she was out in the yard, and we've started to not only do the Farm Stuff videos, but like play off our characters within a social media world and farming. So I'm sitting there and like you can stitch videos on TikTok, and there's always girls, you know, dancing in bikinis and all this stuff. And I'm like, how do we make fun of this without being like vulgar or what? And so I was like, what if I stitch it and go like, and like ask my grandma, my granny, like, what does she think of this lovely young lady for me? Because at this point, like, we'd never classified who, like, Daryl's a farm boy who lives on the farm with his grandma. So I'm like, well, obviously he's not married, or we haven't got this figured out yet. So we just kind of ran with this, and I'd show her, I'm like, Granny, look at this lady. And like, she comes up to the phone, and she just like, her real reaction was like, these hussies on this thing, like, this is what they're doing. I said, we got to stop. We got to redo that, Grandma. What'd you call them? And she's like, they're hussies. I go, yes, I know. I know that, and she's always called like girls who are very flaunty out there that, and I'm like, we got to say this on the thing. She goes, I'm not going to say that on a camera. People will cancel me. And I said, no, it's funny because you're older. You can get away with it. I said, you and babies, it's different between elderly people and babies. You guys can get away with a lot more than regular people can. So I hit the stitch button, and she slaps me. She goes, Daryl, that's a hussy. You leave them alone. And I go, yes, Granny. And like, that's where it just totally took off, and people go, who's Granny? And like, what? We want more of this lady. So I just started like throwing every once in a while, have her in bits, like kind of like scolding us, getting on to us. And that's where my brain, from like a storytelling standpoint, was like, this is a great element of like a mother-son relationship, a grandmother, her grandson relationship. Because we kind of had the buddy comedy thing going between me and Gate Bart. But I was like, and like, this is where you can get really family and more personal with stuff. So, and I get to do it with my grandma, who like, I've known her my whole life, so I know how to direct her, but she also is very good at listening to my directions. So like, and when I was young, she did not listen to anything I said. She wouldn't even let me have sugar in my sweet tea or my tea. So like this, and Granny growing up she was my more stern grandma. So not the fun grandma as much. But now she's like this like full of life, 80-year-old lady, always up down for whatever. So I told her to do something. She's like, sure, I'll do it. So we started just having her in the content, and then took off. And then I think in like April or May or something, we launched, like, we made her own TikTok page just for fun. And like within a month, she had 100,000 followers. So we're like, well, that took me 8-9 months of grinding, and she posted like 2 videos and had 100,000 followers. Yeah, on TikTok.
And the great part about it is that she's literally just being herself.
Yeah,
right. She doesn't have to act. Like you've gone through school to act and all this stuff, to do this little storyline. You're just like, Granny, do this. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to like. It's the best thing about it, and then again, so many people are relating to her because their grandma's like that or their mum's like that. Right. It's just so good. But yeah, I did a looked up her Instagram before we started recording. She's at 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, 100, she just hit that a couple weeks ago, and we just launched that actually in April of this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
we
some
didn't
people don't go there. Like some people are like, how have you done that? Well, because all they want to do is get to 10K or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, it's amazing how, and obviously Gatebots is growing now. I think it's close to 10,000 soon,
Yeah,
right?
we actually, it's so funny, like his old one, something happened with it, and like he was not, like we'd post a video, it'd go viral on TikTok or even on my page, but his old Instagram account wouldn't, so we would I'm like, we should just start you a new one. So we faked it, like, fake it. This is all part of like
the story.
Yeah, the story.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can't log in my Instagram, and like we made a whole video about it. Like, and so we're like, we just got to make you a new one. And Granny, like in a second, goes, "Here, I already made you a new one." And he's like, "You're really good at this social media stuff, Grandma." So we did that in 2 months now, and being consistent with his content, it's like 12,000 followers in 2 months, which to me is like still that's a great accomplishment.
That's amazing.
For we can like he's a secondary sidekick, and like he's only films with us still 3 or 4 days a month. So that we get to do that it's pretty cool and grow them. But just how it all has happened. Like thinking back now, it's like wow, it's just like all on a whim. Cousin doing that, and grandma doing that, and now we're all
nuts. Isn't it? Like.